Well, hello there. All right. We're going to do some Windows utility and Lin utility today. I don't know which one. We're going to try and get through some issues, pull requests. Nothing too fancy on this stream. No giant agenda. No installing Google Chrome. Blech. Oh my God, the hate I got from Google Chrome. We could talk about that for a second. But hey, the whole idea was I installed Google Chrome for science. Am I still using Google Chrome? Yeah, I am. But that's just because I'm lazy and I don't feel like reinstalling another browser. I don't recommend you use Google Chrome. And I think some of the comments on that video, people didn't realize what I was testing. I was just seeing how bad Manifest v3 was. Was it the end of the world? Was it the end of ad block? No. Was it a degraded ad block? Absolutely. It did knock it down a peg. Ad block got worse because of v3. Yes, but it was still functional. And then I want to show alternatives once Google finally successfully gets rid of all ad block, right? Eventually, they will probably succeed in their end goal and world domination. And I wanted to actually just show alternatives to block it when inevitably you can't block it in your browser. And that was just kind of like the whole purpose of that video. And people, I guess, missed that whole lost in translation. And I was like, okay, well, so be it. You can still enable V2 in Google Chrome. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd be able to do that for like a year or so. They'll eventually probably find a way to phase it out or make it like a dependency on something else for proper viewing. And, you know, as big tech does, it will eventually get forced down our throats. That's the thing that I kind of wanted to say in that video. And maybe I just didn't communicate it very well. And these things are just, they will eventually become policy. They will eventually become the market standard. And that's just sad. But I mean, it's not anything you can do about it. It's their product and they pretty much control the web. So they will do as they please. And, you know, we can push back. We can do other things. We just got to find alternative solutions and try not to give them any more money. And that's just the state of things. So that was the whole purpose there. And I do have that video coming out tomorrow morning, which, yeah, it's probably not going to be received well either. And I apologize already. So speaking on the terms of WinUtil, tomorrow's video is titled, oh God, I don't even want to tell you guys, but we got to say it. We got to say it out loud. Geez, people are going to be like, are they holding your family hostage? Is big tech holding your family hostage based on my last couple videos I've made? But it's called Microsoft recall is not mandatory. And if you're unfamiliar, like 2 or 3 videos back, I made a video called Microsoft recall is mandatory. And the gist of it in that video was we did trace back what was going on when we removed recall from in MicroWin, actually, is how it all got discovered from Windows Utility. When we removed recall from an offline image in Windows, it broke File Explorer. And that told me, hey, well, recall's now a dependency of File Explorer. What the hell? And that was the gist or the origin of the recall videos. This video tomorrow, we got to the bottom of it, and there's a lot of technical portion of it where it cannot, we can make it not mandatory, so to speak, and still remove it from an offline image. But Microsoft screwed up by basically fudging the numbers on File Explorer, and File Explorer had a dependency called appruntime.cbs, and this is a library that allows dark mode and tabs. We found that, but also recall has that same dependency. In the recall app manifest, it is properly displayed. In the File Explorer manifest, it is not properly displayed. So it looks like someone just screwed up at Microsoft. So when you remove recall, it removed the appruntime.cbs And then that caused File Explorer to revert back to the old state. So we can actually use File Explorer and have recall completely removed is the gist of the video. There's a lot of technical breakdown of that in the video. I hope it's received, but I feel like the average intelligence is just dropping rapidly. So I don't have high hopes. I think it'll just be just a complete shit show of comments on that video. But I felt the moral obligation of actually just kind of going in and saying, this is exactly what we found. These are the findings behind recall. And I'm just ready for the hate on that one. So hopefully once we get through this next video, I might just make a palette cleanser, like switching from Windows to Linux. That should be a crowd pleaser. Yeah. So that's kind of the gist of it. Yeah, I mean, it's not supposedly controversial per se. It's just there's a couple YouTubers that misunderstood what the recall is mandatory video. They took it as like they just read the title but didn't watch the video. And as one does in today's day and age, they're just like, oh, that's scary. I'm going to make a whole video and not actually watch the video based on that video. So a lot of people got like misinformation thinking that like recall, the service, the program, the application is running in the background, taking screenshots on every single system every 5 seconds and then OCRing it and then putting it in a database and sending it to Microsoft. And I was like, that is not what I said. That is not what I showed in the video. All I said was, hey, there is a feature called recall that is enabled on 24H2. We need to track down these files and see exactly what is going on. Why is this enabled? Why it is there? And that was the gist of those videos. But again, lost in translation in the goldfish mentality. So I guess I'm a little beat down from these past week or two between the Google V3 and then also the Microsoft recall shenanigans from the last several weeks, but I feel like both have been talked about now, and I've put my videos out about them, even though they're not well-received videos. Everything's factually accurate, and I can stand behind my videos going, this is exactly what happened. I didn't sensationalize or lie about this. This is the truth. And I like that. It sucks. Sometimes telling the truth just sucks. It would be so much easier just to play to everyone's emotions. Show what Coding Wonders put in the WinUtil Discord. It's about micro-win. When was that? How long ago is it? Let's see. Can we got Discord? Oh, crap. I'm not even logged in over here. Oh, okay, well, let's just... Oh, I don't even have that up. Oh, well. All right. 1 second. Oh, it's a server announcement. Okay, let's see. Let's go over here. Server announcement. Is it under announcements or server announcement? There's too many announcement channels. Oh, okay. I think I found it. Ah, perfect. Oh, this looks pretty. Light mode, so we're gonna blind some folks. All right, everyone throw on their sunglasses, and this is all Coding Wonder's fault because he decided, oh my gosh, I am about to blind you all. All right, good. Throw the sunglasses on. This is all Coding Wonder's fault. You cannot fault me for this. Do we go full screen? Oh no. Here it comes. Gah! Full screen. Oh, I love it. All right, sorry. I gave you guys at least a heads up. You know, I could have flashbanged you, but I didn't. All right, you vampires, let's get on with it. So, MicroWin, the evolution of customized Windows ISOs in 1 year by coding wonders. The MicroWin expert. Presented by Titus, the YouTuber. What is MicroWin? Our in-house solution to customized and debloated Windows images. Removes unnecessary features, packages, applications. Removes expedited apps. That's also kind of some of the provisioned apps, as it's called in Windows. It could also be put in there. Uses unattended answer files to bypass system requirements and network screens. This is a stream we did about a month ago where I took the unattended and kind of slipstreamed a lot of that and made a lot of just decisions of, hey, this is how Windows should be set up as it was in Windows 7. So that's kind of the reason why in the origin of it. A lot of people have used Tiny 11 and other things back in a year ago, which Tiny 11 Builder was not bad. It's just, I think it stripped out too much. And the idea of MicroWin was to strip out just the garbage and then leave you with a good starting spot, no matter what you're doing. Allows customized image and drivers on your systems, and any custom user allows you to copy the ISO to Ventoy drive, and it's a spiritual successor of Tiny 11 Builder, which I think is Tiny 11 Builder still around as well. And NT Dev's a very talented guy as well. The big thing here is almost all my projects, I always like to put in PowerShell. That's the biggest thing. And batch scripting or CMD files, I really don't like using because it's such an archaic way of modifying Windows. And that's why almost everything in WinUtil is PowerShell driven. Original developers Conti, first submitted October 26th, 2023, PR 1129. Big shout out to Conti, man. I hadn't talked to him in a minute. He's been out and about. He has a pretty important day job. He said not to tell anybody what it was, but he's a pretty important dude. And I just appreciate him originally coming up with the idea of MicroWin and putting it in the utility. And then Coding Wonders has really helped maintain. And then there's just been a couple times I've stepped in and just kind of streamlined things. So that was kind of the process of MicroWin. Future expansion, bug fixes, most enhancements made by Coding Wonders. I am not the creator of MicroWin. Overview of my PRs in the following slides. I like this. I like this. It's like a developer showcase. We should do like some kind of like go through the contributors or major developers of the different projects. Like WinUtil, I'd love to do that with NNYY, Adam, LJ. There's a lot of really cool contributors over there. I'd like to do something like that for them too. All right, so future expansion. Let's go. Other enhancements and proposals made on GitHub and official Discord channels. Okay, MicroWin then. Oh gosh, I remember this. Oh, the hideous colors. Actually, fun fact too, Conti was the original person that made the themed out micro, or kind of the big change in the Windows utility. I had a very bare bones theme. I came up with the conversion and building the GUI from scratch using XAML. And I am not a front-end developer, so what was there was kind of trash. So what Conti did was add a lot of the theming and colorized things. A lot of people always bagged on the orange with the glow and stuff. I loved this because I didn't even know that was possible with the XAML I created. I did very bare bones. And then he kind of filled it out and said, hey, here's some themes. And then just said, have at it. And then I went back through, I think about a month ago, and then kind of really customize and fine tune the theme so it would look a little bit better. And then there's been many PRs that have fixed and made it look even better, which is cool. So this is it now. I honestly want to streamline this a little bit too. How this is selected, all these fields are needed, but honestly, I feel like some of these should be changed into like an advanced section. And then streamline it a little bit more, where right now, I think it's a little bit wordy and a little bit too many fields. Amplify it. Oh, this is where I come in, I suppose. Let's see. Overview of my changes, 30 pull requests, bug fixes, cool new features, solid PRs overall. kind of a big deal. Hey, Melky, what's up? Welcome, guys. We're overviewing the MicroWin debloat of Windows. One of my contributors on the project, Coding Wonders, put together a PowerPoint for me, and I apologize ahead of time for blinding everyone in the audience. Told us to be rude and disruptive as possible. Good luck, live coding. My chat's already rude and disruptive. I'm very, very accustomed to this. State of MicroWin in 2023. It uses a mixture of DSIM commands and commandlets. Actually, this has changed because of how PowerShell works. For the Milky Raid, something that should be known about me is I'm not really a programmer per se, unless you call PowerShell a language or Bash a language. Some people just say it's scripting, so I'm kind of like just a scripting person, I would say. Not so much a programmer. I also know HTML. Back in my day, we used Notepad with HTML, and it was fantastic. Yeah, and I use AI now. Oh yeah, I watch out my Python scripts, okay? What was it on the last stream when I was like, check out this gaming script I made. I had a Python script that referenced everything and pulled it all in, and then even displayed anything I made on a Twitch stream using like a Cloudflare worker. But it was just cursor. Yeah, gross. I feel like I threw up in my mouth a little bit just saying that out loud. But yeah, PowerShell and Bash is actually probably what I'm fluent in. Coding language equals scripting language and programming language. True. Yeah, I mean, LLMs can be good for learning, I think. As long as you don't make them like write functions and entire scripts, you'll do okay. I mean, you could probably hack together something, but not anything that would be for like a professional environment, I would say. All right. Didn't remove anything, so let's keep going. State of MicroWin. Why didn't they remove anything back then? Let's see. Mixture of DSM commandlets and commands resulted in apps obtained by commandlets and applications removed with DISM. All right. That was flawed. I remember this. So what ended up happening was, I think Conti put this together in 2 pull requests, and I want to say it was over about a week. So all of MicroWin was pretty much coded up by Conti in like 7 days or something, just absolutely bonkers. So that's the whole idea behind it. And if you haven't seen it, here, I'll just pull it in old cursor. Or I don't know, are you guys Vim people? We could do Vim too. What do we got? I think it was MicroWin, right? Yeah, let's go MicroWin. Probably the MicroWin helper. I think would probably be the best one to show. So we have this way, or we could go here. This was my bastardized Python script I did for a game I play. It would automatically query the game's API, grab any games I made, and then reference a live stream with timestamps, and then timestamp it into a web page built in Hugo. So no WordPress or anything here. Okay, we don't use those nasty things. Anyways, let's go over to WinUtil because I was actually going to show it. Let's go here. I don't think I've pulled this up in a while. But MicroWin's really neat. So if you ever use Windows, MicroWin will really help you out because it will be a very fast install. Should install on most hardware in about 5 minutes or less because it's all streamlined. There's no OOB experience. It just straight up takes you to the desktop. That WinUtil takes forever to load, and WinUtil after you used it. Still loading on PC. What isn't that slow? I wonder why. What's your specs, Christoph? Still just seeing the PowerShell window. Interesting. That's true. That's true. So like a lot of people, God, I think I was talking to some programmer and he was like saying a lot of people or getting pull requests on like GitHub is such a pointless endeavor. And I was like, dude, I don't think you understand the power of open source. Like the beauty of open source isn't the fact you get to show off how awesome of a coder you are. It's the beauty of open source is you get a lot of people coming in and critiquing your code, fixing your code, and then getting about another 50% of people that are just trying to get a t-shirt or something and doing bad PRs. Yeah, that does exist. But I got to tell you, it is an absolutely amazing thing to where you can see where this started and where it ended. 1 second, we'll get back. I want to show one thing here because a lot of people don't realize where this started from. Goodness, let's go playlists. I think I have a playlist of WinUtil. Now, Linux utility is another thing, but it's only about 3 or 4 months old, where WinUtil was, oh gosh, I just got so much crap in here. Titus, yeah, here it is. Now, this is only 6 months worth. I need to redo my playlists. I'm such a goob. Let's just go videos. All right, we're going to go utility. Let's go videos. Just got so many damn videos. All right, utility. So we have the Windows utility, but it originally started out, this is 1 year ago. I want to say 2020 is when I initially did it. Like this is actually second or third video from 3 years ago. This is probably as close as we'll get. I just want to show kind of where this started from, and then we'll pull it up. So this right here was all me before we put it on GitHub, and I started taking a lot of contributors. Initially, this was a sysadmin. My whole background has been sysadmin work. So I've been an infrastructure engineer or sysadmin or IT guy, whatever you want to say. I don't really care about my title. For 20 years, something like that. Early 2000s is really when I made that transition. And I know that's why scripting has always kind of been my background, because there's been many times where I'm like, oh, okay, well, we're going to deploy this out to hundreds of units or clients. We need to make this efficient. I don't want to go touch all these systems. So that's why I am what I am. And that's why I created this originally to be just a background PS1 file that would just run on initial load. And then I deployed that and sent it over. This isn't actually the first video. The very first video was, I want to say about 3 months before this one, where people were like, hey, can you do a GUI on this script? Because I don't like answering questions in PowerShell. I was like, oh, I guess I could. So this was the WinForms implementation. And this went on for about a year and a half like this. And we transitioned from the WinForms into the XAML and loading it that way. And it transitioned from WinForms to, God, the name's escaping me right now. I don't know, brain fart. But we pulled it into that instead of that. And once we did that, we were able to theme things and build the GUI live from the script. So what it looks like now when you launch it, oh, I didn't even launch my virtual machine. 1 second, let's get Windows up and going. WPF. Thank you, Coding Wonders. Although I can't remember the long form of anyways, yeah. Words have never been my forte, which is kind of hilarious considering I talk for a living now. I don't know how that worked out. I don't know how that worked out at all. Yeah, right now, so my Windows instance uses PCI pass-through. So I usually send a graphics card so I can get full acceleration. I can get all of that. So I can be on my Windows instance, but when I need to use like native Windows, I can just load up my VM. I get pass-through hard drive, pass-through graphics card, pass-through keyboard and mouse. I pretty much pass through almost everything into my VM just so I just get really fast performance. Come on. There we go. Stupid Windows taking forever to load. How did the .com crash teach you? It wasn't good for me. Actually, I was doing a lot of contract work back in the .com days. So I came in at a perfect time. So .com happened, I want to say 2001, 2002, and that was right when I was starting. So there was a big explosion of like Windows Server 2000 was very, very common back then, and SBS just came out. And this was back in the days when small business all used on-prem services, and SBS had an Exchange server built in. You see where I'm going with this? And Microsoft services with that. And it's hell, some people even ran IIS and hosted websites through it. It was bonkers. And the technical problems that businesses experienced in the early 2000s were many because Windows was such a dominant force in the business realm back then. I mean, it's still used a lot, especially with Active Directory and a few other things now, but you won't see IIS in a business. You won't see on-prem Exchange practically ever. Most of that is all cloud-based now, and O365 and other things that are done. But back then, everything was on-prem. So lots of businesses, lots of small businesses had many issues, and it was a perfect time. And I think I was very lucky and fortunate to start kind of my career around that time, because I got to see a lot of different businesses and a lot of different configurations, and I was able to learn very rapidly, which was very, very cool. So here, I'll launch it through PowerShell for everyone in the audience. I'd make a binary executable if people want to donate. They get a little executable to run, but obviously not needed. You can actually just do this from any environment, and this is the dev branch, but most people want just the regular Win branch. So this is actually a redirect. I made a rule in Cloudflare to redirect this to the GitHub WinUtil.ps1 script. So all it does is grab that script, display the whole thing in raw, and then execute it. So on any system run as PowerShell admin, you can just type that one command, IRM, invoke REST method, and then pipe that entire script in. It runs this PowerShell script. This is a PowerShell script. Most people don't realize it's not a program per se. And then you can actually get in and launch this. It builds the whole GUI right in the background, and then it's all modular. Now, the modularity of it was actually done all by developer derp, and we have a little about page here too. Kind of like the big ones. I should probably go a dash and put coding wonders for the maintenance of microwind, because you've done so many PRs. We'll get back to that PowerPoint here in a second, but I kind of wanted some reference since we have so many people that joined us. So this is all building in real time. So when you look at it and you launch it, it's downloading that whole script, it's running it, it builds the whole graphics interface you're seeing, and it's running constantly in script form. So this is a PowerShell script. So yeah, it's not going to be as fast as a Rust executable. That's just the nature of it. It's all open source, completely readable, and it's a script, not a program. People don't get that. People don't understand that. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. A lot of people just want it to work, and it does its job for it. But seeing someone complain about its speed, well, I mean, yeah, I could rebase this. Instead of using PowerShell, we could rebase it in C# using .NET. And I feel like that would give probably one of the fastest experiences. And I've actually already deployed individual offline file where it doesn't have a GUI yet, because I'm not much of a front-end designer, as we've seen. And we can definitely go there. So, yeah. Stop yapping, please. You came to the wrong spot. Have you not figured this out yet, Caleb? I don't think you have. This is what I do on stream. All I do is yap. So yes, but that's what it is. And a lot of people are like, hey, how do I get the updates for your program? You don't. It just automatically updates in real time. So like if I submit a PR to WinUtil right now, and I do a new release on GitHub, instantly, thousands, tens of thousands of people running this every day will have that update. So every time it's running, it's grabbing that whole new script from GitHub and then launching it. So is that slower? Yeah, because nothing's actually local and nothing actually gets installed. Can you take care of the module warning during the tweaks? Let's see. What module warning are you having? We'll just do standard tweaks real fast just to show this. Standard tweaks, right? We'll run that. And this is 24H2. Ah, I see. The Microsoft PowerShell management module was not imported because PowerShell management snapshot is already imported. I want to say this was actually a latest PR, and we did that for compatibility with PowerShell 5. We could probably do just a standard if statement to say don't import this module if it's already there to get rid of that warning. Yeah, we could add that. So that's the gist. Is there anything else here? We're doing a system restore point. I should have unchecked that. It's going to be slow. Anyways, so this is where it started at. This is where it basically ended at. Now, initially this script as well, it was not modular. It was all just one PS1 file. And I edited everything by hand. And I didn't even use GitHub. I think I uploaded it there, but I really, at that time, just did not use Git at all. I used it to do very basic things, but I didn't even understand it. And that was only 4 years ago. Kind of wild. All right. Are we ready to blind you some more with Coding Wonders PowerPoint? How many pages is this? Coding Wonders made a 45-page PowerPoint. Okay, I gotta... We gotta... Oh, we gotta go through this a little faster. This was his first PR 1330, created on December 24th. Christmas Eve, all right. Merged January 2nd. Nice. I must have got back from New Year's and was like, let's do it. Merger to fix arose from changes. Wrongly removed Defender. Okay, it didn't wrongly remove Defender back in these days. I actually went through and hated Defender and was on a crusade to remove it from Windows. I still hate Defender, but it is what it is, and it just is going to be part of Windows. It just caused too many issues when I did remove it that I got rid of all this code for Windows Defender because of the issues that arise. Before continuing, a bit of history. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. Developer of DISM Tools. Project started a year before the introduction. And I think DISM Tools does a lot more things than what MicroWin does. I think he pulls it's more of a granular approach. And I never wanted MicroWin to kind of institute a lot of that. Personal philosophy is a balance between design and functionality. Do not compromise one over the other. My internal press involved unit tests, but eating my own dog food on real systems and VMs. Nice. The MicroWin X according to the Discord server. Ah, call it Galen. He's nice. MicroWin and DISM Tools are separate projects, but closely related. A lot of times he does test and do a lot of things in Windows Tools. And I've talked to Coding Wonders about this back and forth too. And I'm like, I don't want to bring in all of that functionality because it would bloat up the interface too much. And I still want to keep this tool usable by all. And that's one of the big things. Here's a dark mode. Look, it's a dark slide for you guys. How about that? Coding Wonders put one dark slide in there just so he could flashbang you on the next one. Can Defender be placed by ClamWin? No, I mean, you can... So how Defender works, a lot of people misunderstand this. When you install an antivirus in Windows, it detects that antivirus and then it automatically disables most of Defender. Parts of it are still active, but for the most part, Windows, the actual scanning and active scanning get turned off in favor of the antivirus that you install. So that's pretty much how Defender works. I personally don't like Defender mainly because of what it's done to code signing and a lot of the things for independent businesses and independent developers of projects. I think Microsoft's been a very, very malevolent force in that industry because of pushing extended validation, and most of that comes from Smart Screen. And extended validation really wasn't that much of a thing before Smart Screen hit the market. And what extended validation did was basically you had to pay about a $300 payment to like Komodo or any SSL site. DigiCert's another major one. And they would bypass Smart Screen and you'd pay for that extended validation. They got away with this by charging another couple $100. Actually, it was about $250 more a year, mainly because they said they did further checks, two-factor on code signs, and also they do a background check on your business to make sure it is what where it supposedly is. Now, I've gone through this, and it's just a pain for most businesses. It's about a 6-month process in total, at least the first time I went through it, because I didn't understand it. Had to get listed with like Broad Street, I think it was. It's like a business listing. You have to have a registered LLC. There's a lot of red tape to get around to do EV, and not fun. Not fun at all. Ugh, I hate that. Anyways. Are you clickbaiting me? Yes, I am. So now some important changes over the moments. Saving ISO files wherever you wanted. Yeah, he added this so you didn't, at the time it all went to temp folder, but sometimes people would run out of disk space because you download the ISO, it extracts the ISO, and then you have the modification and the making of the final ISO. So it essentially, it triples itself, if not a little bit more about 3.5 times the size of the original ISO is what it bloats to when you do a microwin install. It does clean up afterwards, but if you don't have substantial amount of free space, you cannot do it. And that's when he made like scratch directory is what he called it, and helped a lot with some people with space limitations. Unattended answer files tailored to Windows 10 and 11. Yeah, I remember this. I still am, you know, he's really helped with Windows 10, where I've kind of like, I don't really even bother supporting it much anymore. Unless something big happens, I might touch it. But for the most part, I don't mess with Windows 10 much anymore because it's going end of life next year. So that's kind of why I did that. First rant about PowerShell. Oh boy, let's see. ESD and WIM image conversion. That's right. Oh my God. If you're unfamiliar with ESD, it's like this hyper compressed container of a WIM file. So you basically have to extract the ESD into WIM and then extract the WIM into files. And it was just, there's a tool to do all that, but essentially I really hated ESDs. It should all just be standardized under install.wim, but I think it was some, I want to say 20H2 and 21H2 of Windows 10 had ESDs. I could be wrong with those versionings, but I hate install.esd. Only used for a little bit, but still a pain in the butt. We might get to Linux utility. You never know. Inherited from DISM tools, then streamlined. Let's see. What did we bring over from DISM tools? Ah, yes, the conversion from ESD to WIM, which is great because ESDs could just complete crap. I hate it. So he brought that over from his DISM tools. DSM command to command line conversion. We still have a mixture of DSM commands and command lines. They weren't native. The PR fixed. It is a 2-parter. Nice. Import drivers. This was cool. So there's actually a import drivers or export drivers command in DISM to export all the drivers on your current system. It's actually native to Windows. You don't have to use a third-party tool at all to do this, which is kind of cool. And basically grabbed that, exported the current drivers, and then built the new image with those drivers in it. Very cool. Shows here. Fixes for VMware network drivers. Yeah, so initially it purged all Wi-Fi and Ethernet, specifically for VMs. Any VM, not just VMware either. It was QEMU. You wouldn't have a network driver and other things. So he actually fixed the Ethernet issues we were having in the early days of microwin as well, which is kind of cool. That was Sherlock Holmes and DSM Tools was Dr. Watson. Anybody ever remember Watson? There was a actual, I think it was called Dr. Watson in early versions of Windows. Was it XP era? I can't remember. I remember it being on a bunch of systems though. Memory's fading. All right, fixed it when it happens. Custom user settings after Win overhaul. The default was user. That's right. I just hard coded it in, and then he added the password and user boxes. ISO downloaded. Now this was cool. I think originally MyDrift made it, and then he went back and forth with him, and then it now can directly download the ISOs from Microsoft.com. So all those drop downs actually pull from Microsoft.com and then immediately install it. So you don't even need to install or download the Windows ISO anymore. You'll just grab it direct from Microsoft, which is pretty darn awesome. Was it IBM Watson? It might have been. I remember Watson though, and it was a utility. It might have been in the 90s. I remember Watson and NT4. Okay, yeah. I was like, I remember that. I just, I was pretty young. I think I was a teenager at that point in time. His PR fixed it, adds download capability using Fido. So it's actually a very fast download. If you're unfamiliar, like if you use like a invoke web request or even REST method, those are pretty slow. Fido, I think, I'm not sure if Fido uses bit service or not, but I know Bits does more, a lot faster download than both IRM and IWR. So very cool. How they put this together was amazing. Automatic configuration for WinUtil JSON files. This is an import export, I believe. And this, a lot of people don't know, but if you actually go over into it, you can actually select your install. So let's say you wanted to replicate this system. You go get installed tweaks. It goes and queries your whole system and then grabs everything that's installed. So you can see these are the things that are installed, and you can actually export this installed into a JSON. And then if you clear this out, you can't see because of chat here. Let me remove chat from the screen. And you could actually import it right here, grab it, hit open, and then it automatically selects all the things, both on the tweaks and install pages. Pretty nifty. And that was not coded by me either. So I think he had a hand in that. Error messages and less support overhead. Dude, that was so good. Like, we weren't using almost any try catch blocks back in the early days. So it was kind of so it was kind of wild. It was the wild west of a lot of those things. A lot of times I just threw it in there. And when we first made this, there was like no LLMs to check anything, nothing. I wasn't doing any unit tests either. So a lot of times I would just add code and then just test it. Just old school. Not even like print lines or anything. I would just go, oh, does this work? Does this not work? And then I'd just be like, oh, bummer. Okay. And since I wasn't using Git at the time, I wasn't even easily able to revert some of my early changes. So there was a couple parts in WinUtil's history at the very beginning in 2020 and 2021-ish where I wasn't doing a reliable commit and pull requests. And there's been a couple times where I borked that release and I had to do a lot of rewrites because I was just not using Git properly. So learn Git. Oh, you found a Dr. Watson. I knew I wasn't crazy. I remember it. Well, I'm still crazy, but oh, I got to pull that in. 1 second. A little detour. I see it. The Dr. Watson clip. Yes, that was it. Windows 2000. It was an application debugger. Yes. Ah, that's so cool. Oh, I remember it. Just the nostalgia just hit me. The tool name was Dr. Watson of Sherlock Holmes fame. The idea would be to collect error information from a program log crash. Yeah, I remember using this. Oh, man. Now, if someone could link me Borland C++ so I can just completely have like a complete injection of nostalgia. Oh, yeah. Oh, so good. Wait, where did I put that? There we go. We're almost through. Don't worry. We're almost there. Sorry. We don't have to do that. KW, thank you. Oh, man. What sparked the PR? A Discord thread. What was this? Error messages and less support overhead. Yeah, this was nice. Support channel. Actually, Calum was one of the ones that spearheaded the Discord. I don't run the Discord. I occasionally pop in maybe once a week, but I don't really get on Discord very much. And I was like, hey, you guys should do it. I'll put a link in there, but, you know, that needs to be all self-contained by the community. So the community runs all this stuff. I don't have any dealings with the actual management direction or, hey, we should add or remove channels. I'm just like, hey, y'all do you. If you guys like Discord and it's easy for you, I'll put a link in there for you. But, you know, I'll be in and out maybe once a week, and I don't really do Discord just because it just gets, I don't know. I've just had some bad experiences over the last couple years trying to run my own Discord to where I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. So I let the community take over. To commemorate this first anniversary, I was working on a series of fixes and improvements, the effectiveness, add support for 24H2, which was nice. That's where we got all the craziness with the recall that we went through. The File Explorer look and recall controversy. Oh, yes. So this is kind of weird how Copilot User Experience AIX is essentially recall rebranded, which is strange. So it's actually in the C Windows System Apps folder, and it's considered, I think the actual folder name is Microsoft Windows.client.aix is recall. So that's where the files are located. But it was wild, him going through and kind of tracking this down. So the video coming out tomorrow, specifically over the File Explorer look and recall controversy, should clear all this up and have all of the findings. He put his log findings here, which is really nice. He helped track this down, whether or not Fish Bazooka and the cat on the ceiling, I think it was, all helped track all this down. To find out exactly what the hell recall was doing, why it was purging this dependency for the File Explorer look that was breaking it. So it was wild kind of seeing this, and he goes through this. Now I'm going to detail all this out in tomorrow's video, so be looking for that. Deployment system 1.0. Oh my gosh, okay. He's using an i3 600, 4 gigs of RAM. You poor soul. Dude, if you live in the States, I need to send you a laptop. Because, dude, I think I might have something better laying around here I can send your way. Remarkable achievement for a $300 laptop. That it is. Lenovo, too. I mean, Lenovo makes some decent laptops. Yeah. Deployment system 2.0. Oh, okay, here we go. Core Ultra 9. Okay, you got the big boy going now. There you go. PowerShell rants. I've had my fair share of problems with PowerShell. Working on it, that mainly involve the default encoding for out file. Oh my god, yes. Yeah. It's wild. So the default out file when specifying this is UTF-16, where everything else is UTF-8. Which is completely wild. We actually have a unit test specifically over that. File locks for offline registry hives. That was kind of a pain. We had a duplicative thing where it was making ISO files that were 11 gigs. I remember that. Oh, that was awful. What can we learn from these mistakes? Force UTF encoding when possible. Never use registry commandlets with offline hives to avoid locks. Thanks. Any question? Thanks, Coding Wonders, man. It was good. Thanks for the PowerPoint and blinding all of Twitch chat. They love you. Maybe not for the PowerPoint. They kind of hate you for doing it in bright ass white mode that literally burned out the retinas of everybody. But I speak from everybody in chat on that one. But very cool. Oh gosh.
Shenanigans. Shenanigans.
What did I miss? You heard about JJ version control. It's faster, better Git on steroids, and it's 100% Git compatible. Oh, really? I just learned Git, though. Git's kind of amazing. I love Git. Just Git in general. I watch your videos on Recall. I was wondering if I should upgrade to Windows 11 or stay on Windows 10. I don't see any reason to do Windows 11 at this point in time. We're still got like another year before we have end of life for Windows 10. And Windows 10 right now is a little bit faster. So I don't see a purpose in using Windows 11 unless you have some kind of compatibility issue. But for the most part, I think you should be fine. And I would stay on Windows 10. Have you ever tried Simple XChat? I like it better alternative to Signal. You know, when it comes to chat, I don't really do too much chatting. Discord's usually what a lot of people use these days, and I'm just not a huge presence on any of my chats. I like to just jump in and kind of work on something. Oh, wow. Okay. JJ from that repo. I'll have to check it out, Adam. I love Git. Like, I absolutely adore it. So it's really hard to get me off where I'm like, is there anything? I think some of the bigger ideas of Git might be a little harder to grasp for some folks, but it just has so much functionality already. I don't know if there's any weakness to Git that I don't love. Like, there's nothing where I'm like, I feel like I need something different, because Git just works so darn well, and I love it. I know you don't like Firebox, but try out Zen. It's genuinely fast and looks well done. Yeah, I might. I mean, need to probably switch at some point in time, but I'm just so beat down from switching to Chrome just so I could make that stupid video. Do you remember the Geek Squad MRI back in the day? That was awesome. Yeah. So fun fact about the Geek Squad MRI, they got their pantsuit off of them, and I was an actual. I think my official title was Deputy Field Marshal at Geek Squad back in 2003. And that was interesting. I got called out to do cleanup work on whenever someone did something stupid. Like, let's say they're at a business site and they break a RAID 5 or a RAID 6 array without checking for backups first. I was the one they called to fix that crap. And genuinely, there was some crazy stories that came from the Geek Squad era. One was specifically that one. I remember that sticks out in my brain, where it was just having a business owner sit there scream at me as I came out. I'm like, all right, well, I'll get this fixed for you. We'll recover the data as much as we can. And I don't think we actually got sued on that one. That was fun. And we ended up recovering like 93 or 94% of the data from that broken RAID array from that technician that was out there. And the MRI tools were interesting. We got sued for using, oh God, what was it? It was, I think it was OnTrack that had a recovery that was in the original MRI, and they didn't get permission to distribute it commercially, and they got sued for that. It wasn't sysinternals. It was, I can't remember exactly, but I remember having to modify all the MRI discs because that specific one was in there. I've heard good things about Zen, but I use Microsoft Edge across all my Linux systems. Oh, wow. It's kind of funny. I've heard a lot of Linux users saying they use Microsoft Edge on Linux, which is kind of wild to me. But a lot of people do it. I think the most prominent figure I can think of that actually championed Microsoft Edge in Linux was Poppy. He used to work for Canonical. And I remember I think it was Alan Pope was his name. And he was a huge Microsoft Edge user once it released on Linux. And I was like, all right, well, Didn't see that. Didn't have that on my bingo card. That was a wild one. Yeah, I don't think any of those tool sets have been updated on Geek Squad in many, many years. Most of the people that founded Geek Squad, Robert Stevens was the original founder. It was an independent company. And what happened was in 2002, 2003, they merged that into Best Buy. And I was actually part of this transition. And it was really nice back in the day. They actually had independent stores, which were really well done, and you could take computers there, and they were very, very well at training. And then slowly the dilution of the brand happened over many decades. And somewhere between year 5 to year 10, things really took a turn for the worse on Old Geek Squad. They had a whole bunch of controversies. They had some in-home technicians do some very inappropriate things. I think some of them even went to prison for one was like a hidden camera or something that they put in a bathroom, which is, oh my gosh, you know, I'm getting into Dr. Disrespect territory here. But yeah, it was wild back then on Geek Squad. But most of that all happened after I left, because I think I left that whole position around 2005, 2006. But they had, originally, it was all independent, and it was a good company before the dilution of the brand happened over many, many years. Yeah, it wasn't ever profitable, Galaga. They never did well, and I think they all shut down. It was kind of funny too. Like, it was also right time, right place. Most people don't realize that back in the mid 2000s, it was like having a money printer being able to fix a computer. Like, everyone's computer is getting infected. Everyone was just having so many issues, and there's just so much that you were fixing at that time. So, you know, it would be not uncommon just to have entire households get completely infected, because XP was just so insecure. Like, everyone like goes, oh, Microsoft XP was the best ever. And I'm like, nah. I mean, from a security standpoint, it was an absolute nightmare. And there was so many infections. So, fun fact from that. A lot of people look back and go, XP was the best. And I'm like, man, you must have been a kid or something during that time period, because XP was very, very slim, mind you. I mean, it was a very... You could definitely de-bloat it down, and they even had a 64-bit Pro Spin that was actually really awesome. But it was an absolute awful operating system for most users. Yeah, so much piracy too. Well, I know the source code of it got leaked, which is kind of wild. I have my nice Geek Squad badge. Oh, well, I got something for you. I think I still have one. 1 second. Do I have it over here? I think it's in one of these drawers. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah, so I was Agent 2600. Oh, geez. Right there. 2616. 67. So I have the special agent badge, and then there's the double agent badge from back in the day. So yeah, that was fun. I never got the... I actually was supposed to have a third badge for when I went to the district, but they never gave me that badge. It's kind of funny. I was like, wait a second, I got that in a drawer over there. Oh. But yeah, that was the original days. The X64 was basically a Server 2003 with Luna theme. Yeah, I mean, I really liked Server 2008 R2. I always say that, but it's just still one of my favorites. Let's see. So we went through some of that. I do want to get some issues done real fast. Let's get back on the desktop, because Let's see. WTH, question. I want off my computer. Some updates are managed. How do I get you out of my pocket, mini Bill Gates? WinUtil, that is. All right. Can't fix stupid, guys. All right. Windows update stop working after run standard tweaks. It's a foreign language, but what do we got? Optimizing. Why would it break Windows Update? It's not touching Windows Update here. So that's kind of odd. Maybe someone will comment on that. That understands that language. It looks like... Is that Spanish? I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, Spanish. Error encountered. Contrado. There's no internet connection. Oh. There's no network connection. Oh, he can't update his Windows. It's actually, if you look down here, there's no network connection. Oh, lordy. All right. How many brain dead issues do we have sitting out here? I get this when I reinstall WinGit. What do we got here? Is this a chocolatey issue, you think? All right, let's see what this does. Can we replicate it? Let's go config. Reinstall WinGit. Let's see what we got. Yeah, didn't really run an issue here. Probably a modified Windows. This happens a lot too. People like to over modify. It's like the person that downloads like 3 antiviruses and like, I'm triple protected. I'm a genius. And I'm like, oh no. Just pick one antivirus. But what happens is when people modify Windows, they're like, I'm going to go ahead and modify it 5 different ways with 5 different tools. And then they get weird errors. So they probably purged a module doing something else and then ran my tool and then like, hey, this module doesn't exist. So WinGit works, but something, is it chocolatey that he's having issues with? Looks, no. I don't know on that. Chocolatey installer for WinGit, I think, is probably a little flawed. I remember working on this a little bit in the past, but that actually might be a valid issue. His install looks fresh, though. Look at his wallpaper. Yeah. I probably would do a fresh install just to see what that is. I know on launch, though, WinGit does a pretty good job. I don't know if the WinGit reinstall button is even needed anymore. We might just remove it. But we'll see. If I can replicate that, I'm going to leave it open for now. Edge not uninstalling, I do know. The virus or Trojan detected with the WinUtil shortcut. I think what's causing this is modifying the shortcut to run as admin is the main issue. I think that's what's flagging it after doing this. So we could do a modification to where it doesn't create the shortcut as run as admin. Or we could just remove the creation of the shortcut. So people will get mad at me by removing the shortcut, saying I'm trying to lead them to the paid binary. But those same people are sitting here calling me a virus, perpetuating virus people. So do we really care? We could just remove it and then these people won't have virus. What do we think, chat? You all decide. How do we want to deal with this? Remove the shortcut creation that we can do with a click of a button. If you're unsure what we're voting on here. So right here, there is, I think under tweaks actually, create WinUtil shortcut right here. When you do that, you can create a little shortcut on your desktop. What this shortcut is, it's right here. And when you click on it, it automatically runs the utility for you. It's flagging this as a virus. And I'll show you why here in a second. There is a valid case to be made for this. Let me close that. If you right click and go to properties, we actually modify the binary a little bit. If you look, or the actual LNK file under options, or no, compatibility actually. And I want to say under change users. No, we were modifying it to do a run as admin. Well, let me pull this in real fast. I want to say that LNK shortcut. Ah, heck. Let's go. There's a markdown. That's microwin. Here we go. This is it. So what's happening here now sets the byte permission to run as admin. This right here is changing the hex value that should elevate it to run as admin, even if it's not selected as admin. So to see this in action, it still runs as administrator. So it self-elevates to an admin without that. So the big thing I have a question on, what we could do maybe to fix this. And 1 second, we'll close that out. Well, so the big thing, why do I care about what people say about a virus thing? It's a weird deal. It's a phenomenon, but yes, more on people that don't understand that antiviruses don't actually check your computer for viruses. They rarely actually block legit viruses. They usually just flag free and open software. One, I've already gone on the rant many times about code signing, but the other thing is, these people, you kind of have to cater to them because that's your normal person. And if it's flagging your utility as a virus because of you adding a shortcut, from a software development standpoint, you just remove that capability. Yeah, it sucks, but you guys know how to create shortcuts. So someone that has an actual IT person, they can create a PowerShell shortcut launching the utility. That's not rocket science. And for the person that doesn't know how to do that, well, they can just type the command in PowerShell. It's not really that big of a deal. But I think I will remove this. Let's do a recompile and not modify the binary for that LNK. I think that's the first step, and then we'll see if this alleviates the creation of it or not. Let's go. I think this is the first step. WinUtil, we'll do a git pull actually. Everything's up to date. Let's do a compile, run, and let's just make sure we delete that from the desktop as well. Let's delete that. Should launch. So recompiled, get that. Let's go tweaks, config. No, it's actually tweaks. Right here, create shortcut, save. Okay, close that out. Let's look back here now. So now we have the shortcut still there without modifying the binary. That might help. Or the hex code, I mean, sorry. Hex edit from the shortcut. Doing a hex edit like that typically would elevate it, but I think it's fine. The code itself will self-elevate, so I don't think that hex edit's even needed anymore. I'm going to remove it, and we're going to submit this and commit it direct. Oh, am I on a PR? Oh, shit. Oops. My bad. Let's see what all my changes are. Oops. Okay, cool. We're gonna update that to main. Fix shortcut hex edit. Actually, we're gonna just say remove shortcut hex edit. We'll first try this and see if maybe that hex edit was causing issues. Let's pull it. And if we look at our history, we're going to be pushing this shortcut, and then this just clean up, it looks like. Cool. We'll push that. Does it check virus total check now? Let's check. So let's look at that. Let's go virus total and check. All right, here we go. Yeah. It's gonna just still flag it. Yeah, probably removal of it. We'll see. Take it easy, Razzo. Kind of like how I took out all the removed defender code, mainly because it's causing malicious false positives. Yeah, it's no big names. It's just unfortunate is all. Just unfortunate. So this person's using endpoint security Legato. I've never heard of that brand. Is about Windows Defender. I didn't see Windows Defender. Let's scan it with Windows Defender. Let's just go to trash bin. This is the last one. Let's restore this one. Go desktop. There's the shortcut. There's the executable. Let's just scan it with Windows Defender. See what we get. No threats found. Okay. Are we up to date? Maybe not. We got an insider preview online. Gross. Ah, here we go. Let's install that. Okay, I said install this one, not those two. Ugh. Damn it, Windows. I got Defender to flag the shortcode with the latest signatures. Okay. Yeah, so the way the shortcut works is you run the PowerShell command and the common pattern used by malware. So that's why it's flagging it. Now, we had the shortcut for a while now, and the hex edit was by me 8 months ago. Yeah. We got by for a while. Malware removal tool should just run in the background, actually. Yeah, I'm aware. There's 83 pull requests. I'm gonna get to it. Gonna get to it. On my link, you see the shortcut without the thingy did not report anything at all. All right, let's see. So what were you doing with different? Do you have a pull request open for this drift? That's PowerShell DLL. That's not the LNK. So create the shortcut and then upload the LNK file, and that's what flags it. Now, we might be able to modify that. All right, so this is done. So this time around, let's go shortcut. Scan with Windows Defender. Now that we've updated that. Production history. What is today? 29th. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, so to replicate this, what you can do, just go virus total. Virus total. And then just choose the file. Go to the LNK. This is what people or the users are reporting. Upload it. Scan it. Although this one shows DLL. But let's go back. Let's go desktop. This one. I swear people always find something to complain about. All right. And this one will, if you do a drag and drop, then you get the actual LNK file. For some odd reason, when you select the LNK file, it redirects it to the pwsh.dll. So as soon as you get the LNK file, it'll say it's a Trojan. And as people have pointed out in chat, rightfully so, the way this shortcut works, let's look and break it down for folks. You go edit or properties. It does pwsh first. And then it goes here. It links to the latest GitHub download release of WinUtil.ps1, and then does an IEX, which executes that script from an online. The big thing here is doing the execution bypass with linking to this script all in a shortcut form is what flags it as a Trojan. So As much as people are going to kick and fuss about this, I'm going to catch shit either way, but I'd rather people think I'm trying to make a buck off them than to think I'm installing viruses on their systems. What do you think of Vanguard? It's a privacy concern? Yeah. Vanguard's absolute crap. Riot should be sent to the gulag for making such a thing. Vanguard is essentially virus in its own. It's a rootkit that attaches at a kernel level, which frankly, why does Windows even allow things to attach at the kernel level? Beyond me. So stupid. I mean, just look at CloudStrike. So yeah, Vanguard, awful. Not much else I can say about that. Can't the shortcut be changed to a .bat or .ps file? We'll do it. You could do a, you could just download the PS1 file and run it. That's totally doable. But yeah, packaging it up like that, not really. So I'll probably end up removing that code. What else do we have? All right. Keep going. Does not let you drag and drop it in there. Weird. So to fix this, let's just change that shortcut creation. Probably the easiest way to do that. Let's come back over here. We got invoke WPF shortcut. Let's go invoke WPF shortcut, should be right here. WPF shortcut. This guy will delete. That removes that file. Invoke WPF shortcut. And simply remove that. Function. Clean up the documentation. Oh, it didn't actually delete in there. Ah. Bam. Done. Problem solved. No more viruses. All right. Let's go. Compile, run. Double check. Should see it launch. Then under tweaks, you'll notice, it's still there. Okay. That shouldn't do anything now though. Yeah, it's a broken button. So let's fix that. Invoke WPF shortcut. WinUtil shortcut. Okay. And then we'll go here. Removal of that. Done. One more compile and run. I read that Windows is doing better OS ring protection. I've heard the same thing, Adam. After the whole blue screen across the world. Ooh, it's a little weird artifacting. I kind of got an egg on their face. As you see, the shortcuts removed now. So all that's good. You called a null expression. So we might have found a ultimate performance plan set to active. Okay. Kind of curious. Power. I think it's power cfg.cpl. Yeah. There it is. Okie doke. Cool. That does work. Gravy. Let's commit that. Get rid of that. And then we'll close out that issue. Let's fetch changes. So we have a couple little formatting fixes. We're removing the tweaks, getting rid of the WPF shortcut creation. It's causing virus false positives. Commit, push. I don't think it's going to flag it from micro encoding wonders. So we'll see how that goes. Hell no, it probably would too. Ah, damn it. Yeah, because then whenever microwin launches its update and it gets the new definitions, it'll go ahead and flag. I'll get it here in a second. If you want to, you could remove the update blocking protection rule in WinUtil, and I could merge some minor PRs. Those 80s would go much faster. Adam, I think we're going to have to do that, brother. I think we might have to do that. I think I bit off a little more than I can chew. Compiled with WinUtil and me just getting completely waylaid this whole past month, where it's just been nonstop, that I have not had much time to look at WinUtil. Yeah, I'll contact you later about it. Why so many commercials during live stream? Are you on YouTube? It's that Manifest V free. It's coming at you. I don't know. I don't know though. Usually it's Twitch people that are complaining about the ads. Delete the whole shortcut.mb file. It is not needed. What's better to use, CTT power plan or Ryzen power plan for AMD CPUs? I've been under a rock. Probably AMD. I mean, it depends on what I would say the Ryzen power plan. If it's doing it for you and you're not seeing any dips in performance, I'd say go for it. CTT power plan should only be used on desktop PCs, and it should only, you should know it's always going to max out your processor. It's never going to put it in a low power state. So it's essentially, my power plan just says, hey, give me all the performance all the time, no matter what, period. So you will use more power under my power plan. And maybe I need to specify that, but it's terrible. Don't ever do it on a laptop. Is there a difference if you game on X11 or Wayland? I find X11's just a little more stable, but I think in time Wayland will catch up. YouTube app has been glitching out when using uBlock Origin. Yeah, Google is going for you. There's also a thing, I talked a little bit about that in the past video, where I think Google will bake in the ads eventually. Because the thing about AdBlock, when you use AdGuard, Pi-hole, geez, there's just so many variety of them. PF Blocker, all these from like a network standpoint on blocking ads are fantastic, and no extension can ever block them. So how do you get around that? How do you serve ads to people that are tech savvy? More so than someone that just knows how to install an extension, right? That's a pretty easy person to go after, especially with V3. You can pretty much go after, delist those, and eventually you'll go back and forth, and people will finally just throw their hands up and go, I guess I'll watch ads for the normies out there. But for a tech savvy person, they're going to do it from a network level. And when they do that, let's say that substantially hinders, or let's say the CEO needs about a 40 or 50 million dollar raise. You know, he needs to buy that second yacht. So he's going to be like, all right, we need to make all these people watch ads. The most logical step from an engineering standpoint to make as much money as possible would be to bake the ads into the actual video. And that is how they're going to get you. There's no skipping it if it's baked into the actual serve of the video, which could easily be done in the back end. Google has the engineers and has the know-how. So that will happen. I don't want it to, mind you. Please don't get this twisted. If you want to block ads all day long, go for it. I am all for you blocking ads. However, there will come a day where this does come out. And at that point in time, what are you going to do? That's up to you. Open the wallet or watch the ads, I think is what it'll amount to. But eventually, we'll get there. A solution similar to sponsor block be the fix for that? Yeah, I think the issue, Drift, is it would not be consistent and the ads would change depending on the user and the location. So sponsor block works fantastic because it's always the same timestamp and it always ends at the same timestamp, so it can be easily sourced. When you bake them in live and you're serving ads specific to that user and you stream them into the video feed, how do you block that? A back and forth for sure. Quick question about Arch Script Installer. Does it install a DE? Oh, it does not install a desktop environment. So there is no desktop environment right now. I kind of have like DWM kind of halfway set up, but it's still not great. And it essentially just gets you a really good base Arch server install. And then you can easily just use the AUR to install whatever you want, or install like XFCE. You could go with a more complex setup and do like a ML4W Hyperland install. You could do just straight up KDE. There's a lot of options there, but I kind of leave it in your hands to kind of take it from that base level. A lot of people have tried to quit Google. I get it. You can start reading books instead of watching videos. No ads at all. Three-digit IQ spotted in the audience right there. It's rare these days now. I remember ads on the back of some books. Yeah. Yeah, I love books, man. They're great. I need to read more. Don't we all, though, right? Don't we all? Okay, so that's good. Fixed in the latest commit. Next release. All right, we've accomplished 2 different issues. Yay. Install update fails with Discord already installed and selected. Yeah, that's about all I can say with that. I don't really want to fix the Discord thing. Discord auto updates, so it's like, hey. Speaking of malware, Discord like has its own malware associated with it. It's kind of a weird update cycle, but hey. Is there a way to bring back Windows 10 fly style music layout? I think there's actually an application for this. I'm not 100% on that though. I think they actually removed this from there and replaced it with the new library type system. I can't remember what it was. Thanks, Coding. Sent you the Lin repo instruction in Discord again. Okay. Restore Windows Update to default settings fails. What's going on with this? This shouldn't fail. So let's take a look at the code behind this. We're saying that fails, but that doesn't make any sense. WinUtil updates. So here's the default. Ah. Yeah, I see what the problem is. Okay, that's that. Let's what default does. So this is setting the item registry pass. That's actually not going to work for us because this actually sets it as a policy. So actually when I wrote this, I didn't do it right. It is removing these entries, which is fine. But really what it should do, if we look at tweaks.json, we've actually, I think I already did this. Let's go updates. And updates. God bless. How many times Acrobat? I hate Acrobat. Gross. No, that's not all. Okay. What was in the tweaks? Oh, actually, might have been in feature JSON. Let's look at the reset. I think I redid the wheel here. So what this should look like. No. This is just legacy panels. The big one I really wanted to do was resets network, SFC. Yeah, reset update. Okay. This is what I need. That's a feature. It invokes this function. Let's go. All right. Invoke WPF update right here. This should still work. This removes all of that. Removes any updates. Resets all the DLLs. Does it remove all of the policies, though? It does not. Actually, there's a command to remove all of the files. Well, no. Here it is. I see. It's a little wonky way of doing it. There's actually a more global way for removing those updates. So what this looks like, reset by your organization. There's a global command and it's just escaping me right now. I remember using it. Sorry for the no, that was not it. And I can't remember what it was. Spiceworks sometimes. I guess I could ask the old LLM gods since Google search sucks so bad now. I remember back in the day, these actually had good solutions. And yet... Oh no, shut up. No. Reset all. Here we go. Here we go. We're on it. Reset all group local policies. Oh, I could have just turned on dark mode during that whole presentation earlier. My bad. Download download that. All right, reset GPO using that. You can do that manually, but there is a command to reset all to defaults. Sec poll.msc security setting. So you can do a sec edit, deflate base, database there. Perfect. So this will set all group policy objects. And, or you could do this as well. Probably RD using CMD is probably a way to do it. Or you could do it through, which way we want to take? All right, take it easy, Fire. Oh, dude, I gotta check that out, Adam. Oh, is it up? All right, let's grab that from Coding Wonders. He's probably cleaning up a little bit of old WinUtil shortcut. 35 lines. Create Windows. Yeah, that was just from the unattended file that was created. Probably actually, it's not really taking up much time. Might make it go a little faster, but not much. Either way, appreciate it, coding. Squash and merge. All right, gravy. That's good. Now for reset local policy. I think resetting the Windows Update and local policy all at the same time is good. And forcing this through... I thought there would be a better way. I think we can convert this to PowerShell. RD won't, though. This is actually not... I think this is probably the best way to do it. I mean, I almost want to just kind of do all... Well, obviously not the manual way right here. By just selecting them individually. But a full reset like this would be good. Yeah. We're doing an update right now. That was your 31st PR. All right, man. Oh, I love it. Yeah. I think we do all three. Just because I do get this option quite a bit. So we'll say reset, update, and policies. And this would fix anybody that has any Windows Update issues or has settings managed by your organization. It would reset all of those and take off and change your Windows to be more default. I think how do we want to do that? Let's go ahead and pull the changes. And we'll go WPF. I want to say that was updates. Where was that? So this is defaults. So it's trying to remove all these services, which is fine. Something like Let's go Windows. Local. So something like Windows local policy reset. And this is where we go like, I'm just going to put these commands in here just so we have them. This is not right yet, but we will reformat these. I just want to kind of get these in. I don't know about doing a force GP update. That might actually want to restart. Put it in here for now. And then finally, reg deletes. This is triple kill, but hey. All right, great. So this should be convert to start process. Yeah, definitely no definitely none of that. So we're going to do RD and then we'll do a GP update force. All right. And we're waiting after each one of those processes. For the reg deletes, we can convert these. Let's go. Convert to remove item property. All right. So what this should do is it should go recursively force, error action silently continue, and remove all of these properties. Just to make sure, let's double check the source code here and make sure we're not doing anything too bad during this conversion. Essentially, we're not, though. Reg delete with a /force should be the CMD command does a recursion and forces the deletion of these as well. So this should be a pretty valid submit. So let's do that. Right house. Let's go. Right there. So we're going to do a Windows update settings reset, and then we're also going to clear out all of the local policies here. I'm fine with that. Right now, it's not doing much of anything. So let's come on over to source control. And we're going to do a commit. We're going to say fix policy reset for updates for default updates. Commit. I need to redo this. Yeah, let's just always stage, sure. And then sync it. Then we'll go test it out. Yeah, we can run that while we're here. Let's go actions. And you said pages deploy? And oh, it just got deployed 22 minutes ago, actually. The GitHub pages action, I think we did add a trigger onto that, Calum. So now it does it automatically. Let's test this really fast. I'm just going to synchronize these changes down. We'll pull up our PowerShell again. And let's do a compile run. Man, I love Hugo. Hugo's the best. Yeah, well, tomorrow's video is actually Microsoft recall is not mandatory. We Coding Wonders and a bunch of other people found ways around removing recall without it breaking anything, which is cool. And I kind of go into the fix, what actually happened during the uninstall of recall, and pretty legit. It'll be fun, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate mail on that one. So default out-of-box settings, this should now reset all policies. Now, to double check our policies, GPL, see, not now, gpupdate.msc, no, poll edit, right? God bless. What is policy editor? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. GP edit? .msc? Yeah, that's it. Jeez, typed that command in about a gajillion times. And it was like, oh, must be tired. All settings. Yeah, thanks, coding. I was like, man, what the hell? Okay, so you see how we have these all diagnostic datas, configure updates, all this enabled and configured? These are active policies. So if we open up updates, it's going to say settings are maintained by your organization, right? So we go settings, updates. There should be like a little thing saying, oh, maybe since we're on the insider build, it's ignoring it. Do we have Edge? Edge usually gets messed up since I stripped down a lot of the communication there. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, managed by your organization. So watch this. All this will disappear when we launch Edge. It will no longer be managed by the organization because Windows users obviously trust Microsoft more than me. That's on them, not me. So let's see what this does. It should go through, update policies, strip out all those commands, and then this gives complete control to stock settings from Microsoft. All right. So with that done, we relaunch GP Edit, and you'll notice all that's disappeared. Probably. Might require a reboot because it is Microsoft after all. It is Windows after all. All right, so then we got that. Perfect. Wiped out all the settings. Everything's not configured. And then if we launch Edge, you'll notice it is now managed by Microsoft. Ah, son of a biscuit eater. Really? Yeah, so we turned off a lot of these policies just so it doesn't spy on people. But I get so much mail from people going, why are you taking over my computer? I'm like, man. How do we want to approach that? Oh, what's Caleb say? Maybe one day I'll become a real Linux user. Is there a way to invoke format C in WinUtil if one is super mad at Windows? Oh, man. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to break Windows. Let me count the ways. Here's a fun story for everybody. I'm not proud of this. But once upon a time, when I was first starting as a young man, I was no older than the wee old age of about 20 years of age. So quite some time ago. I was tasked with selling computers at a company called Fry's Electronics way back in the day. So this was actually before my first technician job. And they had something called great quality computers. And these computers were just dirt cheap. Like, they sold them at a loss. They were called doorbusters because when someone bought them, the company lost money. And my supervisor hated that we were selling these things, and I hated selling them because we were all commission-based. The era of commission-based sales. And I hate to tell people this, but I had to do something I'm not too proud of. And I just remembered it because of the Format C statement. What I ended up doing at that time, it was, I think, Windows XP, or no, maybe Windows 2000. There was a file on boot that was referenced. I think it was like win.ini. And I figured I could modify this file and cause a bunch of errors during boot so it would blue screen on initial boot. So anytime someone would come in to buy this cheap system that was sold at a loss, I'd go over to it and be like, yeah, sure. Do you want to see the system first before you just buy it? It's really cheap. And they'd be like, yeah. So I'd go in, I'd take them over to the PC, I'd push the power button, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, it takes a little bit to boot, don't worry. I'd put an artificial sleep on there. And then it'd blue screen and it would say, error. The error report was from this. I forget exactly the line I modified in this INI file to cause it. But I would be like, yeah, it's been doing this all week. I don't know. But anyways, we got a bunch in back. I'll go grab you one. And then sure enough, the guy would be like, what else do you have? Not proud of it. But, oh yeah, it was boot INI. Yeah, and yeah, that was terrible. Terrible. You gotta put food on the table somehow. Oh my gosh. He's mad, you're mad. Oh, you guys shouldn't be mad. All right, so this did fix their policies. Viewers still blacklisted. We had a bunch of bots in our Twitch chat, and they had constantly advertised, hey, do you want new viewers? Do you want new things? Go here to this super shady site and buy some viewers so you can broadcast on your stream. And I found out if you block the word viewers, it blocks all the bots. So I was like, So chat, don't use the word viewers, and your chat won't get blocked. Yeah, that's a little thing. No, you literally read that Calum is mad, but didn't read the next sentence. Micro Center, no. Nope. Well, I don't know what the next sentence is, man. Y'all know I'm halfway illiterate. Oh, no. Let's come on over here. Where's Calum? Blame Chris. Calum sent you something. Dude, you can't send me something. I'm live streaming. Live streaming. Like, don't send me messages while I'm live streaming. Come on. Like, come on. Now, you want to DM me while I'm on a live stream and say, hey, check your DMs. I'm on a live stream. God, how many times do I have to say it? I'm sorry. That was probably uncalled for. I have a hard time reading chat. Sorry, I lost my cool there. I apologize. Oh, I just sorry. A little worked up on that one. My bad. Oh, it's WinUtil Hugo. Okay. Sorry, I just had to get it off my chest. So where did you actually send this DM? Because obviously it is not in chat. Is it on that Discord platform that I hear so much about, that all you cool kids are using nowadays? Okay, let's just open up old Discord. Yeah, pin that over there. Discord. Okay. Dev update. Beautiful. Absolutely love this new design. I really like the placement of the search. Very prominent. Lots of people can get this. To search. I like it. The arrow pointing over. I like it. That's a good design. Initializing search with a little source icon. Also like it. Announcement. We are currently not adding any applications. Okay. Let's scroll through this one too. I'm digging the design though. It's really going places. We do have an error though. 404 not found. So, but I mean the links do work. When is your DWM getting some love next? I think we need to look at Linux on Thursday for sure. I'm going to leave the title the same, the thumbnail the same. We're just going to go from Windows utility on Tuesday to Linux utility on Thursday. That's the next one. So Thursday is going to be dedicated to Linux. Swear. Oh, so what was that? What was the link there? Let's see. Adam sent me something. Oh, that was the restriction on the PRs. Okay. Slayer, first time catching the stream. Oh, glad you're here with us. It's a fun time. Most times lately, I've been just kind of horsing around, yapping, and slowly working on these projects. So I know it's not the most riveting stuff, but we're getting there. Little by little. Location. Okay, got it. This looks good, actually. So I like this addition. This should fix the problems with this latest one for the defaults. I really do want to revamp all of the updates. I'm going to go ahead and leave this as is, though. If we look at the history, we got the updates. This is the latest commit. What this is doing is it's resetting the local policy database using secedit, which honestly should be enough to reset all the policy. But just for completionist sake, we then use CMD's RD to reset everything there and then do a GP update force. And then just for completionist sake, we also go through the registry and purge any policies. One policy we'll probably add to this as well is Edge. Because Edge people always contact me and go, hey, it says you're managing my Edge and I can't change this one setting because you've turned off telemetry. And I'm like, okay. So probably, I think I'm going to change this default updates reset to full policy reset, full update reset, and then full any kind of managed by your organization reset. So it would reset updates and all that more to stock defaults, because I've had people email me real angry and say, I had to reinstall my system because it was managed by organization. I didn't know how to take it off. So I think doing a more completionist reset to Microsoft defaults, it's just nice to have that one button just to be like, click, and then just have it all reset to stock. So I like that. It is hard to believe a legit update is coming for WinUtil. How many times have I promised it? I think only a handful. So this week, I think we're going to do that for sure. Help me leave Windows and go for Linux. Crispy, I like this. I like this comment. What is your problem? What do you mainly use your PC for? This is the big thing. What do you do on your PC? What do you need it for? And why do you use Windows? These are the most qualifying questions. Before I just say, leave Windows for Linux, let's see, what do you use it for? I genuinely want to know. Because we need to make sure, one, you don't have any incompatible hardware. Two, is Linux going to suit your needs? And then three, getting you out of that nightmare. If conditions 1 and 2 are met. GP update after the remove would probably be best. True, Dathis. I think we can move that down. You can do everything with Linux, but not every app works on Linux. Simple as that. Agreed. Grow a pair. I just did it a month and love it. Qualifying is an important thing. You always want to qualify someone before they jump to Linux, because not everyone can make that jump. And if you force someone that isn't, let's say, ready to give up some of the things on Windows, like let's say they're a Valorant player or a League of Legends player, and they need the rootkit anti-cheat BS from Riot, well, they got to use Windows. They need to be spied on to play their favorite game. But if we convince that same person and go, hey, this is kind of messed up what Riot's doing to you, man. You should probably know they're snooping and doing a lot more than just keeping cheats out of your game. And frankly, they're not even really doing a great job of that, are they? So what about playing a different game? One that might work and be more agnostic to your operating system. These are good qualifiers. So that's why I always like, hey, don't tell everyone they can switch to Linux, because some people genuinely aren't ready to give up that part of their life or that favorite game that is just like an abusive relationship. And I get it. I played League once upon a time too. I was in that abusive relationship. Ooh. But I rehabbed, you know? And you can too. I believe in you out there. Move to Dota 2. Yeah, that's true. I thought that was mostly foreign. I don't know. Is there a strong US population in Dota 2? It's been a long time since I loaded up Dota 2. Yeah, Apex Legends is solid. It has good Linux support too. Yeah, some people, like the people that are fanatic about Dota 2, just absolutely love it. What about Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed? Hit and miss. Hit and miss. Kronos. Since it's Ubisoft, I think maybe put on the old pirate hat. If you know what I'm saying. Sail the seas, matey. And that doesn't matter. Then it becomes pretty darn agnostic. 3 AR. Thanks for the prime. I missed it 7 minutes ago. We'll do some DWM though on Thursday for sure. I think I just got something in. Do you read my use case? Okay, let's see. Crispy has some use case. I'm going to read out his messages. Thanks, Crispy. All right, Crispy says, all right, I want to get into programming. Linux is far superior than any other platform. So programming, Linux #1 by a huge margin. Don't get me started with like Python environments in Windows and how that gets implemented and installed, and modifying environment paths in Windows is a freaking nightmare. So if you're a programmer, Linux is way better. in every regard. I don't use any Adobe software. I actually started playing Dota 2. Dota 2, I think, works on Linux. Yeah. You should switch. You should switch. Which distro would you try first? Oh, for programmer, I almost want to... Oh, jeez. I don't want to be that guy. But... So it depends. I feel like Bazite's probably the best for a brand new user that doesn't know anything about Linux, because they can do DistroBox to see all the commands and get anything they need, but they can't screw up the instance that they get put on. But if you're a tinkerer and you're programming a bunch, you probably don't want to use DistroBox. I mean, DistroBox works, but I don't know. You could go with Arch for the first distro. I almost wanted to lead him down that path, but I was like, that seems like a cruel and unusual punishment, especially for someone that doesn't know Linux, or it's their first time trying it. I feel like Bazite gives such a great first impression for a brand new user. That's why I always like people to try it first, because it's really hard to screw it up. And it's solid. Arch is a great first distro. So I honestly would say what I would do is Bazite with an Arch distro box on Bazite. Do look up distro box and installing Arch using it, and then learn all the Arch commands. And if you find yourself just constantly entering your Arch distro box and just running everything through that, it might be time to switch to pure Arch. But starting with pure Arch out of the gate for a new user, that's some pain. That is some pain for a brand new Windows user to Linux. It's not something I think I would recommend right out of the gate. So that's kind of my thoughts. First Bazite, then transfer to Fedora, modify, and in the end using Arch. Yeah, probably. Usually it feels like most people end up with Arch. But it depends on the person. If you're fine with a little older software, but if you're doing a lot of programming, you probably don't want the older software. A lot of it is, you really just don't want that. So I totally get it. Mint is very, very solid. It's a good base. It used to be what I always recommended for a new user. These days, I really like Bazite from Windows users to Linux, because most of the people in Windows love their games, and Bazite gives such a fantastic out-of-box gaming experience on Linux that it's just so good for the user. The downside to Bazite, probably my main critique is it's a big distro. It's not small. It's like 7 gigs. Hell, it's bigger than Windows. Now, mind you, it runs better than Windows, but the install size is rather large. Bazite had a huge update today. Moved to a base of Fedora 41. So Bazite 41 released today. Oh, that's awesome. I have to spin it up again. Gaming on Pop OS. Nah, use Bazite. Don't use Pop OS. Pop OS is yesterday's news. Once upon a time, years ago, I recommended Pop OS, but these days, I really, really, really like Bazite for its update cycle. Like, you could get stuck in certain versions of Pop OS or versions of Ubuntu and those types of things years ago, and it's hard to explain people how to do like dist upgrade, and if they go 2 versions behind, and then it becomes a whole thing. With Bazite, since it's an atomic distro, it just works. For a better lack of terms, it doesn't really matter, and it's more image based, so it can just update all your files, and then it goes, hey, here you go. There's a new version. You can update it, or you can just stay on that version. If you want to update in 6 months, that's cool too. And that's just fantastic. Not live on YouTube? I should be. Did YouTube cancel me? Let's see. Oh no, YouTube's still going. I'd like to suggest you pronounce Asahi. Asahi Linux. Yes, I will take your Asahi Linux, and I do have. I have this guy.
Shenanigans.
We got to put some Asahi Linux on that eventually. One day, I'm going to get to it. One of these days. Now I can't get it back in. It's fine. Fat Bastard, thanks for the gift, the community sub. Appreciate it. NixOS is great in theory, terrible in practice. Yeah, NixOS is more for a sysadmin. Something that NixOS is great for replicating an environment. So let's say you have and you understand like 30 different programs you want to put in, and then you want to configure them certain ways. And then you're like, great, I want to take this and then deploy it to 30 different systems. NixOS is perfect for that. Let's say you're a programmer and you only have one system and you want to install NixOS. Do you hate yourself? Why would you bother setting up a replication environment in that instance? That is crazy to me. Now, mind you, NixOS is cool. I highly recommend everyone learn it. It's fun. But for a person that's constantly tinkering and changing their environment, NixOS is not the distro for you. Oh, no, you're good, Caleb. I was hamming it up. I was hamming it up for chat. This is an entertainment type deal. I wasn't mad. It's all good. Although that's going to make a fantastic clip. I'll have to look it up if anybody clipped it. Oh, Drift clipped it. Okay, great. It's all good, man. We're having a good time. Well, sweet. Let's look at that. Oh shoot, it's already 5:30 though. I will get this done. Let's see what we got. Let's come on back to the desktop here. Did we let's go pull request. Caleb. Docs. Get docs ready for moving. Ooh, what are we doing? Where are we moving them to? Oh, moving it to Hugo. Oh, yeah. I love me some Hugo. Jeez, just the best. The Bazite ISO is so big because it contains a full Fedora environment for the installer, the Bazite image, and the Flatpaks and their dependencies. The ISO is essentially almost 2x the size because it contains two distros, one for the installer and one it actually installs. The more you know. Bazite's cool though. I really do recommend Bazite. It's very, very functional. It's very hard to break. I know, because it took me a long time to break it. And it was very easy to fix. So that's why. Wait, there is ads. Oh no. Ads. Oh, converting it to other languages. Probably. We could probably set something up for some kind of conversion, because most of the people that work on Linux Utility aren't English speakers. English is like their second or third language. So yeah, we could probably add some extra language support. Read additional info. Too late. I already merged it. And back. What did you say about Bazite? It's the best ever. Use it. Go install it. Go, Crispy. Go now. Install Bazite. At least put it in like a VM. Just to try it out. You'll like it though. Thank you for your streams and YouTube videos. You got me to switch to Arch since 1 week from Windows. Finally, I'm able to do SysOp's business site in Hugo. Props to you. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. I love setting up people with good tech. You know? Something that you're happy with. That's the thing you should be on your computer and be happy. And be like, I like this environment. This makes me feel good. And that can happen. Now, that looks different for everybody out there, but you need to find out what works for you. And that's the thing I hope most people get from me is at the end of the day, I just want you to have a happy computing experience, no matter what OS you choose. I just want you to get on there and be like, yeah, this is cool. I like it. And yeah, if that's Linux, cool. If it's Windows, cool. If it's Mac, I'm going to judge you, but you know, that's also cool. It's just one of those things. How well do you think the Linux skills translate to sysops work in general? I think they're needed. Understand, like, when you get into like sysops and those types of things, you need to be fluent in all the operating systems, in my opinion. You need to understand probably Windows first and foremost. That's all your endpoints are going to probably be some forms of Windows Server. You're going to probably interface with Active Directory, so you have to know Windows Server Active Directory. And group policy is probably how you're going to administer a lot of your endpoints. So yeah, I think that's Windows is first. Second is going to be Linux, because a lot of servers are going to be Linux. If you do any kind of add-on or hosting of, just a ton of different things, you're going to be using Linux. Unless you just have infinite money and you just do like SaaS and pay a company like, oh God, what is that company that does monitoring that is just insanely expensive? Oh, the name escapes me. SolarWinds. Holy crap. I remember getting a quote from them and I was like, bro, this is insanity. Who pays these prices? Don't do that. Yeah, just learn Linux and then just set up any kind of monitoring. You can do all kinds of free FOSS projects to monitor all the stuff in your system and save your company hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's kind of insane. So having Linux and having that type of thing, like, I always joke, my day job hasn't fired me because I'm still cheaper than the amount of money they'd pay if I never worked there. So, like, I don't think I really do much these days. You know, if something big happens, I'll get a call, right? But past that, they pretty much just leave me alone and go, yeah, we'll keep Titus on the payroll. And a lot of that has to deal with a lot of solutions I've implemented over the years where it is simply a Linux box hosting an application. You know, I've done like 3CX videos in telephony, and heck, if you don't need 3CX, you can use free PBX. And that right there saves that company probably around $12,000 to $15,000 in telephony bills per year. That's a lot of money. 12, 15 right there. And then you think of some other things I've instituted. A lot of the on-site storage and replication that happens was all set up by me. And that also saves them just a ton of money. You go through and there's all kinds of systems like that I've set up to where that's a huge savings, where most businesses just push it into the cloud and then pay this monthly fee forever. And frankly, it's a set and forget solution where you don't need to do that. And you look at that and how much money they would be paying, and you're like, oh, wow. You now look at my salary, which isn't much these days. I mainly have that job because of benefits and health insurance, mainly for the family. And yeah, it's like, oh, damn. I think we're actually making money just by having him here. Or honestly, we could get rid of him and just keep all the systems he set up, but why? Save a buck? They could. And they'd probably be fine. I mean, those systems will run for a very long time. And I think the other guy up there now, he's a good friend of mine. And he's very, very competent. He honestly, if something did happen, he could always call me. I haven't told him that, but I'd still help him out regardless. Hopefully they don't watch my live streams. But yeah. I'll get ready for a big PR of new docs and a new repo due to using Hugo. All right, good stuff. I look forward to it. We're great. Off the rails gaming. Oh, that's he was replying to somebody else. Have you heard about Vanilla OS? And what's your view of the distro? Yeah, it's an immutable distro. I haven't actually used it, and last I checked, Vanilla OS was based on Debian, so a little bit older in the binaries. So it's not something that necessarily appeals to me, but I like the idea of it, and I think that in the future, immutable distros will be great for all new users. I would, even though I haven't even used or touched Vanilla OS, I probably still would recommend it over like a stock Ubuntu install, which sounds crazy, but without even looking at it and knowing kind of the structure of that OS, I would probably recommend it over Ubuntu just because I know a new user will have a hell of a time breaking something that's immutable. You legitimately have a great gig with your day job. Agreed. That's why I haven't quit. Yeah. I understand. I'm lucky. You know, I'm just going to keep riding that gravy train till the biscuit wheels fall off. People are like, you could do YouTube full time and have an extra day a week. And I'm like, I don't really care. Like, it's still fun. Like, I think a lot of people, and I've gone on rants like this before, but there's some magic in a 9 to 5, you know, going into a business and having coworkers and people to chat with. There's a lot of value in that, and a lot of people don't realize it. Like, I still love talking to all those people up there, and it's just fun a lot of times. I actually enjoy going to work when I do go in, and people will rightfully counter that and say, yeah, I would love going to work too if it was 1 day a week. And I'd be like, touche. Send a clip of DCDM. Want to look at it? Okay. Hey, you know, people just want their stuff to work, you know. Oh, okay. Message me after this, Peter. We'll I'll make sure to accept you. I look forward to Age of Empires 4. We could do a team game too, starting off too. That would be fun. Team games are also a blast. So if you don't want to go head to head with me, we can do a team game. I get real competitive. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, work finally fixed my salary. 100% as agreed. Good job, man. Congrats. No long unpaid at all. Ah, that's good to hear, man. Always like seeing people succeed. They did that right before I got sick. Oh, that sucks. I just talked to a buddy of mine I hadn't talked to in a long time. He was actually the guy that got me my first tech job. And he worked for this business and did high-end tech work. He does like big data centers and stuff like that. Mostly like rack and stack, networking, infrastructure work. And he called me today and I was chatting with him. And he got in a motorcycle accident. He lives around like the Austin area. And he's been like bedridden. He broke his ribs in this motorcycle accident. And his company, after he didn't work for 2 weeks, let him go. Can you believe that? I was like, man, that's super jacked up. So I was like, oh man, that sucks. But he's such a talented individual. Like, he knows more about networking than I do. And just a very, very talented guy. So he's already doing some contract work and other things. And I was like, dude, just do that. And screw working for someone if you can get away with it. I think his big problem is just health insurance. Yeah. The way of the world, though, you know. Companies want your loyalty, but give you none in return. And I think that's just usually how that works, especially in big business. The bigger the business, the worse that gets. So, like, when I see people working for, like, Google and a lot of these tech firms, I'm like, eesh, I feel bad for you, man. Making that bank now, but eventually you're just going to be another number in a book that will eventually get cut so a CEO can have a second yacht. All right, cool. I'll be looking for it. I'll make sure to add you later tonight. I'll probably stream later on the gaming channel. Do some more Age of Empires 4. $2,993. We got a new one. What do we got? Nope, nope. Oh, but issue. Make the GUI translatable. Ah, okay. I appreciate you for making that, Christoph. They can't do that in Norway. The union protections and stuff. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You're entitled to 3 years of back pay. Nice. Well, that's cool. Like, I think it should be... People should be taken care of, you know? They shouldn't just be used up or treated like another number on a digit. What a street. Yeah, yeah, Moby. I ended up splitting them off. So the thing about doing like gaming over here on the tech side of things, most people subscribe to me just for the tech. And when I'm sitting here playing a game, a lot of people pop into chat and be asking technical questions and those types of things. And I was like, I don't really want that over here. So I went ahead and split the two. So if I'm doing a gaming, I'll do just gaming over there, not ask. I won't answer like technical questions. You pop in chat and be like, hey, look at my PR or my issue on this thing. I'll be like, dude, I'm gaming. Come on now. And then when I'm over here on the tech side of things, obviously, let's do it. You know, got to have that separation. Yeah, and I think, you know, I hate to, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm supremely grateful for where I live and what I'm doing. Like in America, I think it is really the land of opportunity. It's just you got to understand that opportunity comes at a cost. And while you can make just an absolute boatload of money here, and our taxes are really low here in Texas. We don't have any state tax. Federal taxes relatively low compared to European counterparts. And you can earn a lot of money, but it does come at a cost. And you got to understand that cost. So it depends on where you are as an individual, almost like picking an operating system, whether or not that jives with you or not. For some people, I think myself included, I'm very appreciative of where I am. I love being in Texas as an American. It works out great for me. However, if I was disabled or I wasn't able to get a very high paying job or be able to do what I do and earn a good amount of money, this would not be very advantageous to live right where I live. So it just depends. So, you know, teach his own. Well, all right, guys. I think I'm going to shut it down. Shut it down for the day. This was fun. We got some issues. Got like 5 issues done. Gosh, I'm just failing. I'm failing, I gotta say. But Thursday is going to be Linux Day. Ping us for some gremlins. Oh, yeah. I hadn't played Warframe in a minute. I played like 2 or 3 months ago for like a hot second, and then I jumped out. It'd be cool. Damn it, Adam. It's a secret channel, okay? I like streaming to 5 people over there. Where are we raiding? Where are we raiding? We haven't raided anybody in a while. YouTube? Have a good one. Peace out, YouTube. Twitch? Let's find some.